All right, there was a certain season of my life, let's call it that, where everyone kept suggesting that I needed to go and meditate. I had separated from my ex-husband. We were in the process of a divorce, and there was just so much going on within my mind and within my body that was, not pleasant. Let's just call it that. And everyone kept saying to me, you need to go and meditate. And so I would go to yoga or to meditation classes, and I would sit there, and oh my God, the silence was deafening. In the silence, what I felt was that I was really tuned into all the self-talk that I was like busily trying to repress at that time in my life. There was so much going on within me that I hadn't quite processed, that I was ignoring, repressing, denying, and to sit in silence with that, oh my God, it felt like torture. And I would just sit there and just like scream within myself. It's not what I needed at that time. Do I love it now? Oh, hell yes. Oh, yes, it's part of my daily practice. But in the pit of suffering that I was in, it wasn't the first thing that I turned to in order to support myself, in order to lift myself out of rock bottom. And I just like to share that because I think for so many women, sometimes we think like, what's wrong with me? I keep reading, I keep seeing, I keep being told that meditation should like help me and support me and fix me. And it's bullshit, right? So if you've ever felt like that, I want you to know it's not because you are broken. There's nothing wrong with you. It's not because you are not worthy of accessing the magic that it actually is. It's just because there is some inner work that you need to do first before you can confidently hold that space for yourself and powerfully step into it, ready to access and activate what's within you. So much of what goes on within our mind blocks us from ever being able to connect to heart space. We can't just make the decision to be like, fuck it, I'm going to be a person that meditates. Forget everything that I'm thinking, forget everything that I'm feeling. This is me now. I was talking to a woman today. We were doing a private one-on-one coaching session. And she was saying something similar to this. She was saying like, Lena, I see what you're doing on Instagram. I love the way that it looks for you when you're just, dipping into self and connecting to source, and teach me how to do that. I want to do that. Let me in on that shit. And I said to her, like, it's not as easy as that. Meditation isn't just a band-aid we can slap onto the mess of your mind and your heart and your soul. We actually have to take the time to work out what is going on within you, to sort through the clutter of your mind and to make new decisions about what you're letting go of so that you have the space to turn inward and sit and practice and do things like meditate with kind of a clarity that you don't currently have. So, what does that mean? It means that at the beginning of inner work, what we do is bring system and strategy into play to help you work out what is going on within your mind and to support you in just slowing down the overwhelm that you feel. For most women, I see like there's two ends of the spectrum. So some women are just like really overwhelmed. They overthink everything and they're overwhelmed, and it's just making them feel really depleted and exhausted, and they just feel flat and unmotivated, and they just feel a little helpless and a little lost within their lives. On the other end of the spectrum, we have women that are just like constantly anxious, and they just are over functioning and they don't know how to slow down, and they're just living life in this like pace that just feels a little manic, and they're completely disconnected from themselves, right? And so we want to find that place that we can just slow everything down a little, connect with ourselves, get into heart space, and really tune into what is important to us. It's a powerful thing to be able to do, to remember who you are, to reconnect with your values, to understand your needs. But while we are distracting ourselves, doing all the things, falling into all the habits and the patterns that keep us busy and distracted and disassociated with self, we can't get there. So we can't just decide, oh, I want to get there. Oh, I'm doing it. This is me now. #blessed. It doesn't quite work like that. We have to do the work to be able to really clean the clutter of our mind. That's what I said before. I think I like that. And we need system and strategy to be able to do that. So the woman that I was working with today, for example, she really loves what she does for work. And because of that, she, tends to indulge some people-pleasing tendencies, and she's having a hard time maintaining some boundaries. And we just talked about how, at the end of the day, she really struggles to switch off because it always just feels like there's so much that she needs to do. Or even when she goes to do a workout, she'll be moving her body, but her mind, her brain is thinking about what she needs to do for work. And that just feels exhausting. And we talked about the importance and the power of being able to be completely present in the moment that we are in. So give everything to work and be there. But then when you're in your workout, allow yourself to really feel into your body and connect to your breath. Be there. When you're with your partner or your friends, be there. Fully embrace the connection and relationship that is available to you in that moment. See, if you're caught in your head and you're overthinking or you're overstimulated or you're hooked into a certain thought pattern, you can't be present in the moment that you are in, and you're missing your life, friend. We don't want that for you. So for this particular woman that I worked with today, I introduced her to the Eisenhower Matrix. If you haven't heard of that before, it's basically a very simple system that anybody can do, like within the space of 5 minutes. And what you do is you brain dump everything that you need to do. There's days that you just feel like my task list is really long. Everything that I have to do tomorrow is already overwhelming me. I'm worried I'm going to forget something important. When you feel manic like that, you just brain dump every little thing that you need to do. For work, in your home, for your kids, whatever it is, the appointments you need to make, the phone calls you need to make, the messages you have to get back to, whatever it is that is within your mind, you put it all down on paper. And then you use the Eisenhower Matrix to help you sort through what is urgent and not urgent. So the first column is what's urgent? What do I actually need to do right now? So we support ourselves by picking the things that are actually really important, things that we can't put off, things that have to happen. And we make it very clear what we have to do. So that gives us a sense of control and authority over our decisions and our time and our effort. And we can feel good knowing, yes, this is what I have to get done right now. Then there are other things that are important, but perhaps we can delegate them. Perhaps we can relinquish some control and actually ask for support. Actually get somebody else to do it so that we know it's done. Yeah? And then there are the things that we consider not really urgent, things that are on my mind, but I can put that off. I can schedule a date to do that. I can put it in my diary and know that it's going to get done so I can stop thinking about it today because I don't need to do it today. It's the things usually that we procrastinate with, that we busy ourselves with, that don't actually need to happen today, but we allow ourselves to be sucked into them. And they waste our time, they waste our energy. So it's just identifying, yes, I need to update my website or whatever it is. Yes, I need to clear out the pantry. I will do it next Tuesday. Forget thinking about it today. Stop stressing about it. I don't need to do that, And just clarifying when you're going to get to it to help yourself unhook from it. And then the final thing in the Eisenhower Matrix are the things that you're thinking about that you just don't need to do. They're just not important, and you can just completely delete them as a task that needs to be achieved. Don't need to do it. Not important. And so suddenly what happens is your long list of things that you're thinking about that is stressing you out, that is overwhelming you, it kind of begins to dissipate, and you realize, all right, there's only 3 or 4 things that I actually have to do today, and everything else is just noise that is making me anxious and overwhelmed and busy. And if I just unhook from all of that, actually I can action these things today. And everything is okay. And when we do that, we create a little pause for ourselves. We slow everything down, and we will find we actually have more time in the day than we thought we had because I only need to do these things today. That's really all that needs to happen right now. Everything else has either been delegated, scheduled, or deleted. And you'll find more time in your day then for yourself. So the hope in integrating a system like this is that you get those things done and you can feel really good about it, and then make a decision to consciously switch yourself up from that mode. And then that's when you find that you will have space to start learning the art of integrating some supportive rituals into your day. Yeah, if you're not a person that has ever been able to just sit with themselves and learn how to meditate, if you have 100 things to do, it's not likely to go well for you. So it's going to be a different approach for every single person. This is what worked really well for this woman today. She really liked that. Even just as a support to help her through the day not feel so frazzled and overwhelmed. Even if, she wasn't going to integrate any self-care practices into her day, just having that system to help her just chill the fuck out was something she was really happy to just try and introduce and see how it goes for herself. So yes, that's what I wanted you to know. When you work one-on-one with a coach, it's not about me saying this is what works for me, you should start to do this. It's about understanding exactly where you are in your life and what would best suit you today so that we can take small steps together. You don't want to make a big leap from where you are to where you intend to be. We want to get you there in a way that feels sustainable and manageable and just authentic to you as you learn to unlayer, as you learn to let go of things that no longer serve you, as you create the space for who you are becoming. But we need to do that in small incremental steps that make sense to you and the moment that you are in today. All right, friend? So think about, what do you need today? What would best serve you today? What would be really supportive for you right now in this moment? What's something that you could do right now for yourself that would make a difference to the moment you are in, to this day? Don't worry about what you think you're supposed to do. Ask yourself, what do I actually need to decide, to ask for, to do, to let go of? What is it? Give that to yourself. You're worthy of it today. Don't keep putting off your self-care practices for another day when you have more time or a better opportunity or you feel like it. Here and now, there's always something that you can do for yourself as a radical act of love. That could be getting off the phone. You could think, enough screen time for me today. I'm going to go sit out in the sun for 10 minutes. Beautiful. I'm going to call a friend and have some connection and love. Amazing. I'm going to go eat a Tim Tam because that's fucking delicious and I feel like it. Go for it. Or I am going to sit and I'm just going to do some breathing. I'm going to help regulate my nervous system. Beautiful. Whatever it is, whatever you need, give yourself full permission to give it to yourself. And don't think that it has to be some fancy, woo, goddess-like ritual. If that's not who you are in this moment, fuck that shit. Think about, what do you need today? What do you need? You know the answer. You do. Sit with yourself and ask yourself, what is it that I need today, here and now? Love you.